today we are going to be reacting to the Anthony Mantello "Don't Fall for the Teen Steroid Trap Like I Did" video. This is one of the best things put out in the industry recently. Anthony Mantello is changing the game, and this is the best thing that's happened to the youth, to Gym Talk, to the industry, to Instagram recently. This message is something that I stand by 100%, but it's not something I can talk about because I didn't fall into the teen steroid trap. Instead, I spend a lot of my time on social media advocating against it, why you shouldn't, multiple reasons, not only for health, but your mentality, and also just advocating for the pleasures that natural bodybuilding games and playing the long game and all the success and greatness you can achieve as a natural, and the fact that you can make it in the fitness industry as a natural. And if you don't take it from the big guys out there that are natural, some of them that go to my gym, Cam, Kissel, Brinks, they get to do it for a living, they're natural. Take it from me, I'm natural, and I've been doing this for a full-time job since about 10K followers, man. So yeah, if you think otherwise, you think you need steroids, that is just cope. Let's go over this video.
Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I want to speak from my heart. I've had this conversation I've had to myself so many times, and I figured some people on the internet can definitely benefit from it, so we're going to be talking about it now. There's so many different subjects in this conversation, so I don't even know what the YouTube title is going to be, but we're going to jump first with I fell into a trap when I was younger, and I think this trap is even bigger now that more people are falling into.
Dude, it is so big right now. Like, every single kid, they see all these influencers saying ascend or get left behind, you need to pin to win, you need these peptides, otherwise you're never going to have a sick physique and you're never going to make it on social media, because that's every kid's dream job these days, and every kid wants to be an influencer, and people think that you need these peptides in order to, and steroids in order to, have a good physique, when in reality you can get shredded as a natural, you can look sick as a natural, and you can make it as a natural. And it's bigger than ever. Every sellout influencer and their mom is posting their peptide links, use my code, and just trying to make more money and more money, without worrying about the risk of people ingesting and injecting themselves with these peptides and steroids that can have many dangers to your health, especially these peptides that aren't regulated and come from overseas, which multiple studies have found incorrect dosages, lead, arsenic, all this junk in there.
Imagine like a big bear trap, right? A bear trap catches the bear's foot, catches one bear. Nowadays, this bear trap is catching so many bears, and I don't want to say it's unavoidable, but it's so bad. Such a bad trap that I fell into, and so many people are going to fall into. So if I can save a few bears, I hope this can. When I was a teenager, I fell into these steroids.
Honestly, this is enough to make a grown man cry, man. Like, I absolutely love this message that he's putting out. I hope I can speak to him. I hope I can have him on the Peak Natty podcast. If any of you guys, if Anthony Mantello follows you, definitely DM him, tell him to get on the Peak Natty podcast, because this is enough to make a grown man cry, man. He's just trying to help others do the same thing that I want to do, and I think this is the best thing that's happened to the fitness industry recently.
Influence trap, the aesthetic trap with social media. When I was a teenager, I wanted great physique, right? When I was 13 years old, going through puberty, a lot of kids have this. They look at themselves and they want a better body. They want to go to the gym. They want to impress girls when they're older. That's how I felt. I wasn't fat, wasn't skinny, but I wanted to put on muscle because I thought for the long term. I thought, when I'm 18 years old, I want to have a girlfriend and I want to stand out compared to other guys. I want to have muscles because muscles get the girls and it looks good, and it's also a great healthy habit for me to do, going to the gym. So I started going to the gym and I developed really good character traits, great character traits, discipline, consistency, pushing through hard times, all those great character traits the gym built, I built for myself, and it felt awesome.
True.
And then I wanted to become an influencer, right? And nowadays, this is the kind of trap I'm going to be talking about, is everyone wants to be an influencer. And it's so, I feel like that's probably the number one job any kid in high school or middle school wants to do, is TikTok, Instagram, whatever.
Everyone, and they try for 2 weeks and they don't get views, they blame it on the algorithm and they quit. I've seen it with dozens of different people, man. every kid and their mom, their dream is to blow up on social media, have an influence, make money doing what they love, make money what they're passionate about. And they quit after 2 weeks. So if you guys are out there trying to be a fitness influencer, trying to chase what you're passionate about, do not quit after 2 weeks, right? Do so much volume, it's impossible for you to not be successful.
Influencer, right? And nowadays with influencing, there's so much degeneracy that I don't even feel like I want to be one anymore. And I feel like, even putting the boring and good stuff out, it doesn't get rewarded so much, but so be it. I'm done being caught up in numbers and just shutting my mouth because I don't
What a
want to
Chad.
social media. So this is kind of why I'm sharing my shit here. So when I was a teenager, I eventually wanted to become an influencer, right? I saw YouTubers that I liked, looked up to, and I realized I want to do that too. I want to have the physique. I want to make money from going to the gym, live a lifestyle without having to go to 9 to 5. So I want to do that. So I did it, and I knew I would do whatever it takes. Whatever's in my way, I will get past it, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there. So when I hit 16, there was some word around the internet about these new things called SARMs, and I dabbled in SARMs. I took PEDs at a young age, and that decision was a pretty naive decision to do at a young age.
A pretty stupid decision. If you are 17, 16, 18, 19, if you're any age and you're thinking about taking SARMs, first of all, you're an idiot, right? If you're going to hop on PEDs, please do it the right way, with actual PEDs that your body already produces, like testosterone and stuff. SARMs, you're a freaking idiot. That's how to destroy your health 101, your liver 101. But, teenagers these days are so quick to hop on gear, hop on PEDs at young ages, and they don't even think it through. I get it, their frontal lobe isn't developed, but just think about what this sounds like, man. Regardless of if it's your dream to pursue bodybuilding or not, are you really going to hop on life-altering, life-endangering, a life-changing decision where you have to inject yourself with testosterone for the rest of your life at a teenage age, at 17 years old, when you don't even know if you are going to want to bodybuild by the time you're 20? When you're not even done growing, your growth plates aren't even closed. You can have serious issues to your cognitive health and the cognitive toxicity that steroids provide. Are you an idiot? Do you realize that's how that sounds? Just if you're thinking about taking PEDs at a young age, think about this. Think about just saying out loud, I'm 17 years old and I am going to change my life by hopping on steroids. If you aren't ready to have a kid, you shouldn't be ready to hop on steroids.
Can't even imagine the pressure. I think it's not even pressure because of how easy people decide to hop on now. Anything nowadays, whether it be SARMs, steroids, peptides, just take anything is probably at an all-time high of ease compared to any other time in history. So I took SARMs at 16, and I remember thinking to myself of a good character trait of I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That shows how hard of a worker I am.
How retarded you are. 16 years old, hopping on selective androgen receptor modulators.
Which, yes, that's one perspective to look at it. I don't think it's the right perspective to look at here. I think now, looking back, I'm almost 24 years old.
And look what happens, right? Your frontal lobe develops and you realize that's the stupidest thing you could do. So take it from Ant, take it from someone who's 24 and who's been through it all. If you want to hop on gear at a young age, just think about your future self, man.
Very naive and dumb. Because I thought about all the long-term side effects, the short-term side effects of taking the PEDs. But now I sit here today, and in all honesty, I've grown out of that phase of wanting external validation for my physique. When you're younger, I feel like that's mainly what you think about, is you want to be perceived by others in a certain way. You want to have a good...
I think so many kids hop on gear because they do care about their physique way too much. They care about what people think of them, and they care about being lean and peaked out all the time, 24/7, and having that enhanced look. That doesn't come with just enhancements, right? You have to dial in regardless. But they get so obsessed with chasing that I think a lot of teenagers are quick to hop on gear for that aspect of things. They just want more and more.
But now as I've gotten older, the things I actually cherish and want is peace and happiness. And maybe I'm a bit ahead of the curve. Maybe I should be wanting this at 40, 50, 60, 30, whatever it is when I have kids. But right now, with social media...
I know he's saying peace and happiness, guys, but, as a Christian, we all know what that means, right? That's actually chasing what's important, which is God's will and living for him and living in the calling that God has called your life for, in his will for you and his purpose for you, not only but also, living a God-pleasing life. And ultimately that's what brings ultimate hope and peace into your life.
An all-time high too. Like, that shit's so toxic for you. So anyway, let me get into my story. Myself taking PEDs at a young age, following down the path of social media influencer, making good money, and then kind of being at today at a crossroad. So yeah, I took SARMs to enhance my physique so I could stand out on social media, get sponsorships, and make money from what I wanted to do, right? At the time, yes, it's what I loved, what I wanted to do. And I'm sure a lot of teenagers also feel the same way. Right now, you want to be an influencer, you want to have a following, but why is it that you want a following? Why? It's probably to make money, to do what you love. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people lose their core, who they are at their core, because they're following trends and norms.
The sellouts, bro. Posting ascend or get left behind. Use my peptide link. Hop on peps. If you're not ascending, you're missing out. People just lose themselves and they become cash grabbers for the money, bro. I'm telling you.
What gets rewarded nowadays, and a lot of it's degeneracy, and it's so unfortunate. I haven't posted a lot on social media for the last couple of years because I feel like I don't align with social media anymore. I kick myself in the ass for because I wish I just conformed to the trends. I wish I was more degenerate and didn't have this mental blockage of not posting. But in all honesty, my view on social media today is so negative because of all the negative effects I see it do to society. I see it strip away communication, living in the now, living in the moment, being true, authentically yourself. Everyone's doing it for clout, success, whatever it is.
That's so true. If my job wasn't social media, I wouldn't have social media. It is so toxic. You become so addictive to refreshing and getting more dopamine, and comparing yourself to others. It's so toxic. If I didn't get my clients and promote my business, my coaching business, Team Peak Natty on Instagram, I would not have it.
No one does anymore to be true to themselves. I'm not going to say no one, but the majority of people don't really have good intention of social media. It's just for their own gain. And the social media platforms itself, Mark Zuckerberg, done a great job at understanding human psychology to get people addicted to this shit. I've taken a break from social media for a whole month. I've never felt more at peace in life. And in all honesty, I feel like not many people are able to break free from the social media trap that there is. You wake up, you need to check what's going on. You need to check your comments. You need to see what other people's lives are doing rather than living your own life. For the month of February, it's completely social media free. And I felt so fucking good. Felt amazing. I felt like a breath of fresh air. Right now, I'm sitting here in my backyard and I hear the leaves, I hear the wind. I can hear certain birds that, like, if I had my phone here, would just be muted. I wouldn't hear it because I'm engaged on this screen of other people's lives and dopamine just given to me at any second I want, rather than choosing to be patient in my own life.
Social media can be so good, like for inspiring, for knowledge, for connecting with other people, but when used the wrong way, it is a serious addiction, unfortunately, and it consumes your life if you're not careful.
Media attention. So there's another big trap too, right? The companies in the fitness space, they don't really talk about young kids with great physiques being on PEDs and diminishing their health, because at the end of the day, these kids are growing their following, and then the companies come in, sponsor the kids, get control over their following, and influence their following to buy their product.
Yo. He's kind of talking about Young LA here, right? Young LA obviously sponsors one. I think it's still his sponsors a lot of young kids who are openly on PEDs and stuff like that. I'm gonna actually check his Instagram and see if he still is sponsored by Young LA, if he still has Young LA in his bio. Let's see, Anthony Mantello. Did he leave? Yeah, because he's low-key like hating on. Okay, he's still with Young LA and Huge Supplements, but in this section right here, he's literally talking about Young LA. Young LA sponsors multiple young kids and doesn't bat an eye to them being on PEDs at a young age, 16, 17.
So it's a win for the company.
You guys know who I'm talking about.
No one's dying for PEDs, but at the end of the day, their health is being diminished, and it's not the company's responsibility, it's the person's responsibility, but the companies in this industry are profiting very big from it. So yeah, I had a good run in my social media career at a young age, a very interesting run. I got success very quickly myself. When I pretty much started my YouTube channel, I had instant success that first year, 2 years, 3 years, just instant success of...
So this is just like kind of his story.
I never wanted to admit I was on, so I never said anything about it. So I was happy with that decision I did.
So kind of, so he's saying he didn't talk about his natural status, and that's kind of how he avoided it. He never like lied that he was natural, but at the same time he didn't talk about that he was enhanced. In my opinion, it's essentially the same thing, right? If you never talk about it and you're trying to imply that you're natural by just avoiding the question, it's the same thing as being a fake natty. Like, at least you're not lying, but if you're not openly saying that you're enhanced, you're still a fake natty, man. And lying on the internet is just so, demasculating and sorry and insecure. Any type of lying, any type of Photoshop, it is just so insecure.
Nowadays with social media, right? People are being rewarded for either posting stupid, cringe, rage-based shit of, mentioning drugs or being natural or X, Y, and Z, but it still ties in with the psychology of people feeling the pressure of taking these PEDs. So I guess I was a part of it as well. Everyone with a certain physique is, because people know that these drugs help get to that physique. But anywho, it leads me to where I'm at today, being a little bit older now, I'm 24, and as I once thought when I was a young kid, 14 years old, to where I wanted to be when I was 18, more like a long-term goal, I'm now 23, 24, thinking about my long-term goals, and I'm about late 20s, early 30s. And my goals have changed drastically compared to when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, all I wanted was the main factors of success: money, power, sex. That's what I wanted. I wanted girls, I wanted all that good stuff. I want my physique to show that, rather than thinking of the opposite way as I used to. It was physique first, internal, last thought. So nowadays I'm thinking about longevity, which I don't expect any teenage.
Physique first, internal, last thought. In all honesty, when you focus on your internal first, when you have a positive mindset, right? When you have a good relationship with God, when you are disciplined, when you have a strong drive on the inside, it will reflect on your outside, and you will be able to finally, reach your dream physique as a natural, right? You will have such an easier time locking in. You won't struggle with staying on diet. The body follows the mind, and your body is a reflection of the inside, honestly. And so when you prioritize the inside, when you prioritize your soul, your body will be stress-free. You will have your best physique if you're prioritizing it and staying on plan. And yeah, guys, the body follows the mind.
To do, because you're pretty reckless at a young age. You just want what you want, and you don't think of the repercussions until it's basically too late, or you're at a crossroads. Long term now, I honestly, as I mentioned, peace. I want to be flexible, mobile. I don't want to just want to any of you younger kids on here. If I could be a big brother to you in social media, please let me be that big brother. I didn't have a big brother. I almost did. I had a brother who passed away before I was born, so I never got to meet him. I have an older sister who I never spoke to about my decisions before I did it. I hid it from her because she was an older girl, didn't really want to share kind of more guy-y things with her. So at least I can speak of her big brother perspective in this fitness space. So allow me to be that for you. And please think about who you are at your core. Really sit there, ponder, think it over for a few nights, write it down in a journal. I always thought journaling was gay when I was younger. I thought it's a girl thing, journaling's stupid, all these things, but it really gets your thought across down on paper for you to understand that your thought came by your brain.
My journal is right here. It is one of the most important things you can do in order to organize your thoughts and stay entwined with your soul, and honestly have a good headspace and really just dial in spiritually, right? When you are able to write your thoughts down, write what you're grateful for down, write what you're learning down in your reading, it really just helps you, not only it stick, it be prioritized, but also it just helps set the tone for your day, especially if you do it early in the morning, first thing.
Didn't let it escape. It didn't go like through one ear out the other. It came through one ear, you stopped, wrote it down, and you're actually figuring out what that thought meant. What is that thought? When you're 16, teenager, whatever it is, and you're like, I want to do this because I see other people do this and I want their life, that's their life. What do you want in your life? You may think you want that life because it looks awesome, but sometimes it doesn't align with God's identity that He gave you.
You think you want to be this roided up fitness influencer. You think you want to be this 260-pound, enhanced bodybuilder one day. But sometimes you might not even like bodybuilding in a couple of years. So, like Ant said, man, like if you're a young kid, like let him who's been through it all and can reflect on it in the past tell you, man, it is not worth it. It is not worth taking PEDs at a young age. And if your dream is to be an influencer, you can do it naturally, guys. You can do it as a full-time job without PEDs. There's plenty of people who have done it.
You have to think about that before you jump the gun and make a long-term reckless decision. I think the biggest issue I struggle with today myself
So
is
reckless.
I've accepted all the changes I made in my life, how I now want to align myself of no longer carrying the identity I think other people perceive me as. I think a lot of people perceive me as bodybuilder Ant. Was a bodybuilder for 4 or 5 years, became pro, and then gave up. What the fuck? What are you doing? You're back and forth, hopping back on, hopping back off. What are you doing, dude? And if I'm being honest, yeah, like a year ago I posted a video saying I quit bodybuilding. And then like a few months ago I hopped back on, trying another run for bodybuilding, and then did a Bigger by the Day series, and then fell off of YouTube. And
I want to call your attention to an earth-shattering change that's happening in our society that I know you're aware of.
My bad.
The identity people probably carry with me is like, this kid's lost, he's confused. And in reality, I know at my core I'm not lost or confused. I just haven't showed it to the world to say, hey guys, this is how I'm really aligned and actually totally on track. God has a plan for me. I'm on track with his plan. And essentially, the railroad that I previously crossed was this. I was a bodybuilder for several years. I had a goal. I wanted to become a pro. I became a pro. I then went down that road to try to get to a pro show / make it to the Olympia. And I realized at a crossroads, I saw a mirror, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I lost myself. I wasn't who I wanted to be anymore, so I publicly spoke out there on the internet saying I'm quitting bodybuilding. So I quit. And then some time goes, I continue down the track of quitting bodybuilding now. And another crossroads. I hit this crossroads because I feel lost based off the identity I think people perceive me as. Okay, he quits bodybuilding, he's not doing anything. Or I can go back to the identity people know me as. So I decided to go back to what people know me as. So I tried it for YouTube. I did it for social media, in all honesty. Social media pressured me to go back to bodybuilding a little bit because of one, finance.
Social media pressure is real, man. Like, so many people do things that doesn't like even align with themselves just because they think they need to get views on social media, and they feel the pressure from their followers.
Finances, right? I make my money through social media, so I was like, okay, my following through bodybuilding, social media, let me go back to people who know me as and make more money with sponsorships, this or that, and let me try it again. So I tried it again, and it was fun, it was all right. And then when I got injured during the Bigger by the Day series, I was happy I got injured because I looked at the mirror again and I was like, holy shit, you went down that same path and you were getting lost. What are you doing? You keep going back and forth. And I really realized, like, okay, the only reason why I went down that track was because of comfortability, old framework.
Comfort freaking kills.
My followers knew me as a bodybuilder. I could probably make more money doing that, so why don't I do that? Instead of trying a new path, a new railroad to follow down. And to find the new Anthony, which I know there is just continuing to build that Anthony rather than going back to old framework. So that feels pretty good to get off my chest and get out there on the internet for the few thousand that see this. I think that's really all I have to say in this video. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe I helped a few of you guys.
Guys, you don't need steroids to make it in the fitness industry, make it as an influencer, have a sick physique. If you guys have seen any of my clients in Team Peak Natty, you know we have plenty of guys with insane physiques as naturals, man. It really just takes a set plan, a set time frame, and getting lean, and you can look insane as a natural. You just have to be patient. If you guys are interested in working with me, go ahead and click the first link down below and book a coaching consultation call for free with me to go over how we can achieve your peak natural physique. As always, hope you guys found some value for the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for the algo. Please subscribe and help me get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. It would mean the world to me. Follow me on Instagram at Gabe McKinney. Use code Gabe on Define to support me or support the channel. And as always, love